All right, guys. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back for another episode of 60 Days of Toxic Truths. And I'm Andy Kennedy, coming to you from Eastern Tennessee. Um, and today we're talking about green building. And I'm going to get a little vulnerable and talk about how I talk to myself, which I think is it's kind of funny. It's kind of not. And for the longest time, I worked with a company in Steamboat, as a lot of you know, called the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council. Hats off to that amazing organization and the people who have taken over the reins and are leading it with a charge into the future. I'm really excited to just sort of keep a little tab on them over the years that we've been gone. But so for years and years, I helped organize, really in the marketing capacity, not necessarily in that sustainability capacity, as that's not my background. Like my background is really in that, kind of art background and marketing a little bit. But, I got my feet wet with that organization and really learning about green building. That's what sucked me in. There was a green building tour, gosh, so long ago. I think it was probably 2008, maybe 2007. And from there, got so excited about this organization that I joined the board. And we continued to host green building tours. And then that led to the next program that we had. We had Talking Green, which was every month we'd have a new topic and we'd talk about anything related to sustainability. And then we got into zero waste and retree and tree planting. And from then there on, it just took off. That organization is just, it has their hands, I should say, and feet in so many pots, but irons in so many fires too. But that was a really amazing intro for me into the green building world. And this whole process of building is our first experience. We've never built anything. So, sourcing materials and pricing materials and budgeting for the whole build and, what we were using was all new to us. And we have an amazing friend, Lang, hats off to you, who really helped us create the building list and supplies list for the build for both the deck. Actually, Bubba. So hats off to Bubba too. Jim Harper helped us with the supplies list for the deck. And then Lang helped us with all the lists and everything for not only the two yurts that we have here, but the bathhouse in between them. And it never, shockingly, ashamedly, vulnerably occurred to me for me to look at other materials and sourcing better materials. It was just go to Lowe's or go to the local hardware store and get what we were told to get. So fast forward, we're building the master bedroom in the yurt this winter, just weeks ago, right? Not very many weeks ago at all, a month ago at the most. And the day that we are laying the liquid nails, which is a very toxic material, and it's a brand name Liquid Nails, and it's an adhesive for putting on the rafters or joists between the subfloor and the floor, if that's a 2-layer, which it is for the yurts here. So we're putting that up in the big yurt, and lo and behold, we both start getting a headache. It's enclosed. We're talking winter, right? And we both start getting a headache, and we're like, let's take some air. Let's go outside. In addition to liquid nails, we had the subfloor, which is also glued. So subflooring or OSB flooring is a composite of wood that's glued together. Again, never occurred to me to source a green building material for this. Of course, now that I've been toxified by this material or the combination of these two materials, it started occurring to me that maybe we should have looked. Sure enough, if you're watching the YouTube, you can go below and see I posted a video. There is an alternative to liquid nails. In fact, there are 2 green building alternatives to that. Now, of course, building green in some instances can cost more money, but your health is worth that. and my health is worth that. So what happened to me was, and this was just a month ago, I started getting sick that night. I had kind of a violent reaction to it. I did throw up. I had sore throat. Then I had lung issues, breathing, not like dangerous breathing issues, but just, like congested lung. I did all my homeopathy and everything. Felt kind of better the next day, but tired. And we continued to build. And so, of course, compounding on that, um, I felt like crap for the next week or 10 days. I had traveled before that, but I was home maybe 4 or 5 days and I had had no symptoms. I can't explain it other than I feel like that was a toxic reaction to the building materials. Fast forward then, um, now, and timing wise, I'm forgetting, but we had to like glue the last two pieces and we used an even more intense material. And we were both like, oh, whoops, we probably should have just not even bothered with the glue on this one tiny little section of the loft. So the glue was for the flooring that was going, on I'm looking at the loft in the little yurt to kind of wrap my head around the words for this, but there are rafters in the loft, and we put the glue on top of the rafter, and then you put the subfloor on top of that, right? So the subfloor is off gassing, the liquid nails is off gassing, the new wood is off gassing, although there's really no toxicity, I feel like, in pine that's not treated because it wasn't. So it's really was the liquid nails and the OSB. So my point is, when you're building something, if you can, look for an alternative. I would love to backtrack, especially for this subfloor in here, although it did just sort of off gas on its own. We weren't living in the yurts. It was kind of no big deal. So it didn't occur to me that we should maybe look for that when we did the extra master bedroom and the loft above it in the big yurt a couple of weeks ago. So, um, you know, as if I needed an example of being toxified. I didn't want one. Thank you very much. But, it's good to go, okay, right. That's why I'm doing this. That's why this is so important to me, because I have reactions like that to things. We all do. I know we all do. But maybe someone that doesn't connect the two dots doesn't realize that's maybe what made me sick, right? We know about low VOC paint. We know about low VOC materials. We know about sourcing from better methods. Again, in hindsight, like if I were to backtrack, I would have loved to source some of our wood from the mill that's literally a mile from us, less than a mile, I think, from us, for inside, because we didn't need it treated. It's local, it's mined, it's I think it's poplar. So maybe the strength of it isn't great, but for anything else that we do from now on, I'm going to source from him. For one, because it's local, it's right there, it's cheaper. It's, I'm giving money to a neighbor, and it's from our local wood supply, right? So, and we've talked about wanting to do that on Shambhala anyway, to have, to use our local resources, to use our own wood for the fire, to use wood for building if we can. So, you can search local mill and go and reach out to them. You don't have to buy from the big box stores. You don't have to buy materials from the big box stores. Yes, sometimes it's going to be cheaper, but is your health worth it? I mean, I reckon it is, right? So, anyway, that's my vulnerable story today. I put a link in the YouTube. I'll put it on the Facebook group as well. I didn't even go down this rabbit hole other than to find this material from these two. But I think their website, or their YouTube channel, I should say, and their website probably has a lot of really amazing resources on it. It's called Green Building Supply, that's it.com. And it's chemically safe replacement for liquid nails. That's the YouTube that I posted below this. So really excited to have that as a new resource for us. And anytime you're building, please do think about low VOC and other alternatives, natural plant-based, sometimes alternatives to the green building materials that, we're just fed through the pipeline and assume that that's all we have. And it's not. So that's our toxic truth for today, green building or not, and sourcing better materials for sustainable health and home environments. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks for following Toxic Truths. If you're not already part of our Facebook group, please join that group. That link is below. you can have the whole playlist. That link is also below if you want to save it on YouTube. And then if you're part of the group, stay tuned. We're going to turn this into a whole bundle for you, and you can watch and get all these resources. So join that group. That's the ask. Join the group for now, and more to come on that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.